Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Today I will be presenting my story titled Weak Hadith in Jami Tirmidhi, a reanalyzing using modern Tarkhrij. This research examines how tools can be used to reassess weak hadith found in Jami Tirmidhi and how these modern tools compare with classical hadith criticism. Okay. Second slide, yeah. Background. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Problem statement. The main problem addressed in this study is the gap between classical and digital hadith analysis. Classical hadith criticism is highly reliable, but very time consuming. On the other hand, digital Tarkhrij tools are widely used, but their scholarly reliability is still debated. There is also a lack of systematic comparison between classical judgment and digital reanalysis. Therefore, this study seeks to assess whether digital tools truly enhance hadith criticism or simply replicate existing classical work. Study objectives. This study has four main objectives. First, to reanalyze selected weak hadiths in Jami at-Tirmidhi using modern digital Tarkhrij tools. Second, to compare the results of this digital analysis with classical scholarly verdicts. Third, to evaluate the strengths and limitation of modern Tarkhrij technologies. And finally, to propose a balanced approach that integrates both classical and modern methodologies. Research questions. Based on these objectives, the study addresses three key research questions. First, how do modern digital Tarkhrij tools assess weak hadith in Jami at-Tirmidhi? Second, to what extent do these digital assets aligned with classical critics such as Imam at-Tirmidhi, Ibn Hibban, al-Dhahabi, and Ibn Hajar? Third, what methodological gaps still exist between digital tools and traditional hadith criticisms? Theoretical frames integrating approaches. This research is grounded in an integrated theoretical framework. On the classical side, it draws from at-Tirmidhi grading system, Ibn Hibban approaching to narrator reliability, and Dhahabi and Ibn Hajar Rijal evaluation. On the modern side, it considers digital database such as Shamila and Sunnah.com, digital narrator profiling. The framework integrates Naqli, transmitted knowledge, and analytical investigation. Methodology, comparative analysis. The study adopts a qualitative comparative research design. Weak hadiths were selected using purposive simplying from Al-Jami at-Tirmidhi. The tools used include digital hadith database, isnad comparison features, Rijal evaluation models. Cooperation and discrepancies. The findings show a high level of cooperation between digital tools and classical evaluation. Digital tools were especially effective in identifying isnad, variant, locating parallel narration, accessing narrator's biography. Discussion enhancing, not replacing. The discussion shows that digital tools enhance speed and accessibility, but they do not replace classical expertise. In conclusion, modern digital Tarkhrij tools largely support classical Hadith criticism. However, they cannot replace the qualitative scholarly judgment of the traditional muhaddithun, the best practice. Therefore, it's an integrated approach that combines classical scholarly depth and modern digital efficiency. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.